It's my pleasure to talk about the ACT Inpatient Trial, which we've just presented at the ESC. I'm going to take you back to the spring of 2020. We are a group of cardiology researchers, and we're hearing stories of Italy and the catastrophe that was happening in terms of patients going on ventilators. And so we pivoted from cardiology to COVID-19 and designed a large, simple, randomized trial of 2,500 patients in 11 countries. And what we did was we wanted to target both inflammation as well as thrombosis as key mechanisms for the pathophysiology of COVID-19. We tested colchicine, a high loading dose and a maintenance dose, as well as a combination of aspirin and rivaroxaban to target microvascular thrombosis. This was a randomized trial where patients were randomized twice to each of those therapies. And what did we find? We found that, in fact, colchicine did not reduce the primary outcome of need for high flow oxygen, invasive mechanical ventilation, or death within 28 days. It's important to note that a fifth of patients in the trial died, so in fact the mortality was very high, but colchicine did not moderate this. What about anticoagulation? It's a hot area. Well, in fact, aspirin and low-dose rivaroxaban did not reduce the primary outcome and was not beneficial, and did not reduce mortality either. This kind of left us wondering. We then undertook an updated meta-analysis looking at all the available trials of colchicine, and we in fact found no reduction in mortality. And when we looked at anticoagulation, it was in fact a different story. When we looked at intensified anticoagulation, there was a clear 40% reduction in the incidence of venous thromboembolism, but in fact this did not translate into a reduction in mortality. And so where do we go from here? Well, colchicine should not be used in inpatients hospitalized for COVID-19. And aspirin or rivaroxaban was not beneficial, and intensified anticoagulation appears to reduce thrombosis, particularly venous thromboembolism, but does not reduce mortality. And we really need to focus on therapies that can reduce mortality and progression of disease. Thank you.